Welcome to Feathers and Friends, where my name is Jared. The boys are actually sleeping right behind me. It's getting a little dark out. This was a podcast I really didn't want to do for two reasons. This week has been a nightmare, and I didn't have any friends to be on. This is Feathers and Friends, and I don't have any friends that want to play in in the atmosphere this week. So, just to kind of get things jumping off here, things are a little bit different. I wanted to give a shout out to Susius are my favorite, or Scusius are my favorite. He's actually sponsoring the next couple of episodes, which is pretty dope. Just kind of give a shout out to him. Gaio, I think it's Sucias, are my favorite. He's on Reddit. He's, he does a podcast. He was my guest in the last episode. I'm going to link to everything down below for it. But the guy's a true genius. He said that I could use a new microphone, and has decided that he gave me an upgrade. I haven't got everything that's needed. It's coming on its way. So Susius are my favorite. Go check him out. He's a recovering intercourse addict, not to be confused with a recovering sex addict. He's a near and dear friend of mine, even though he may be an Army veteran. I'm sorry, I'm just allergic to garbage, portions of the military. But anyways, I just wanted to give him a shout out, say thank you for sponsoring this episode. I know I had him on last time, and so this week is just going to be me talking into your dumb face about some video games as I play a little Minecraft, because that's what I wanted. It's just what I wanted to do. I want to play a little Minecraft. I just want to get out there and get out and about. We've got some interesting news coming up, some Pokemon news for a change, some Pokemon news that I'm actually willing to talk about and willing to have conversations on. There's some interesting news in some gamer news. PlayStation is now fearful of, the Microsoft, as they are, even though Microsoft is being a true Chad in the gaming world that everyone deserves. The Chad that I'm referring to are the Chads that you see in the gym it's a meme on Reddit that you always see and that you always can hear about. Why is it so laggy? Why is my gameplay so laggy? You know what? Let's go ahead and stop the preview in there and just play without it, because I know Minecraft is very heavy on some things. Oh, look at that. Maybe a little bit better? I don't know. It's trying to play at 120 hertz, and I don't think I can play correctly at 120 hertz. But anyways, that's besides the fact. So I just want to throw it out there to everyone and let you guys know that I love all of your faces. You guys have been absolutely nothing but amazing for me here. You've been doing nothing but great things listening to each and every single one of my episodes, so I really appreciate everybody doing that. And let's go ahead and get started here. So just to kind of get some cool, interesting news here. There's a new game out there that somebody's actually in early development. I'll probably throw it up here in just a second, or even just give a quick link to it. But you are playing Pokemon as a first-person shooter. You can run around, shoot Pikachu with a submachine gun. You could shoot him with a bolt-action rifle. Apparently, this is like a couple weeks old, but I actually just came across all of this stuff, and it was really interesting to me because I can't believe the news that is coming out. Like somebody decided that they were going to make a first person shooter Pokemon game. That's pretty dope. I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and yeah, you like Pokemon? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and kill some Pokemon? That's okay. I mean, that's fair. That's an interesting take on Pokemon. So they got that game coming out as well too, as I know we said we were going to talk a little bit about it here. But Sony has bought out Activision, aka Blizzard. I know Blizzard's been having so many issues. It's just been a nightmare. I mean, with all the abuse allegations, as well as they don't seem to treat their employees all too well. I can't imagine what it would be like, being an Activision or Blizzard employee, just knowing that, hey, you're, how do you even put that? Hey, just FYI, I know that your company is getting bought out, and I don't know. It feels like Microsoft is about to pull a pro gamer move, as they would say, and really just kind of do a lot of good for the gaming world. Because I don't know if you guys had seen it or had seen it. I don't know if you guys had saw it. But one of the interesting things that I saw that was coming up was that they were talking about how oh God, what's his name? He's like the main Phil Spencer, I think is the guy's name, who's the main dude for Microsoft. He's like their main spokesperson and stuff like that. But he's like, oh yeah, I had a chat with all the PlayStation heads, and the PlayStation heads were pretty much like, yeah, as long as we can keep everything kosher. He's like, yep, nope, business is normal, and in 2023 everything will be finalized, and then that's when everything will actually take effect, and Activision will be an official part of Sony. Well, not Sony, I'm sorry, but will be an actual official partner of Blizz. God, why can't I talk right? Man, this week it sucked. I did the Shorts and Hoodies podcast last night. I couldn't talk, but Microsoft will officially own Activision, aka Blizzard. I think it's a great move. I think it's an amazing move. As Sony is the one that's been kind of in the weird talks where like Sony has been the bad guy of things not too long ago. I mean, Sony basically. I can't tell you how Sony's been bugging the crap out of me. Like there was a thing where they were talking about like, oh yeah, let's gamers unite and this, that, and the third. You see this all, and Xbox would be like, hey, we don't care if you're a gamer on the Switch, we don't care if you're a gamer on the PlayStation or PC, as long as you are gaming and we are all gaming together. And they're being real bros about everything, and all of a sudden. Sony kind of comes in and Sony's like, yeah, that crossplay that everybody wants. Yeah, no, forget that nonsense. We don't, crossplay is garbage. We don't want to. A few of their games that were supposed to be crossplay are just no longer. Were like really hard to become crossplay because Sony wanted to play a little hardball. And I think it would be a very cool move for who's it, Microsoft, to really just kind of go, yeah, we know that we now own Activision and Blizzard, and we own all those titles, but we're not going to be a dick about everything. We're just going to kind of go ahead and chill out like everybody else here, and we're going to be cool bros about things, and oh, you're not going to have to worry about a whole heck of a lot, and just, hey, yeah, by the way, everything's going to be cross-platform that we do. Some titles might be a little bit more exclusive, but at least you will know that you're getting, Call of Duty is still going to be Call of Duty. A lot of the other games are just going to, it'd be kind of cool to see what they're doing. I think they're going to pull that real bro move and really just kind of keep everything as crossplay as possible. Because I've noticed that Nintendo and and Microsoft have kind of been those bros in the gaming industry, where a lot of all that they're doing is just kind of they're like, hey, we get it. You game, I game. Whether you game on this or that or the third, we all game together in this sphere, and everything should be good to go. I mean, that kind of leads me to my next point. Like Nintendo, with all the emulators and cracking down on a whole bunch of other nonsense that they typically normally do because they're assholes like that. In all honesty, I think it should definitely be one of those where it's like, come on, guys, like why would it really be that bad? Would it really be that bad to put banana sandwich, what's it called? To put like Mario and stuff like that on the Xbox, or would it really be that bad to put Mario on the PC? Or like the biggest thing that the biggest thing that I always hated was I had to have a PlayStation 4 to play Spider-Man. I really like Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is a dope. It is a really dope kind of what's it called? Title. God, why are words so hard? Like Spider-Man is an amazing title. I think Spider-Man is one of the cooler games in the universe. In kind of video gaming world. I mean, I actually just recently rebeat Spider-Man. I did a series on the Shorts and Hoodies podcast where I uploaded, is Spider-Man really a killer? I would think that he is, with everything that kind of happened. So, I did that cool. I would highly encourage you to check it out again. The other podcast that I run is called Shorts and Hoodies. I apologize. I've been putting a little bit more time and effort into that, just simply because it is a bit more of an adventure that I'm looking to kind of get and really hope that things take off. So if you could go out to Shorts and Hoodies and listen to some of our podcasts out there, we do top 10 movie countdowns, and on Fridays we talk about just kind of what's going on in the industry, where maybe we review a movie. Like last weekend, Dash and Stephanie actually reviewed The Eternals. I was not feeling well. I ended up kind of doing what I do best and just kind of laying low for the day and feeling a little bit better and getting a diagnosis that I wasn't too happy to hear about. But you know what? We'll go forward with it, and we'll say, hey, we'll get better, and time will go forward. So I'd highly encourage you to watch the Eternals spoiler review out there. I know it just recently came out on the Disney Plus machine, as well too as the one-shots just came out on Disney Plus, thanks to Alejandro, my best buddy. He had just informed me that they're releasing all of them today. And so, you get to see Thor with, I think it's Thomas or Daryl or whatever that cool guy's name is, Loki and all them too. So I'd highly encourage you to look out there. God, I'm just a plug fucking machine today. So anyways, no, what I would really think is cool is I would really like to see, I'd really like to see Nintendo switch on over and really kind of keep that mindset that like, hey, we are all gamers. Not everyone can afford to purchase a brand new machine just to play a single game. I don't like that I have to pay, I don't like that I have to purchase a PlayStation 4 to play Spider-Man. Thank God I've had a PlayStation 4 for, God, years now. And so I've been able to revisit it once I finally decided that I wanted to play some more games again. But I really don't like how, Sony does that, or not Sony, but how. Oh wow, that doesn't look to be a very safe area to go visit in the coming moments. But again, I don't like how I have to. I just don't like how I have to purchase an Xbox to play a bunch of these games, and I don't want to have to purchase, this game system to play that. I have three favorite games. Well, not three favorite games, but three games that I really like from my childhood. The Mario edition kind of stuff. I really think Smash Bros is really cool. I really like the Spider-Man stuff, and Spider-Man is a PlayStation exclusive, just like oh God, what's a Microsoft exclusive? Now, come to think of it, but like a lot of my buddies were when we used to play Call of Duty, and when Call of Duty used to actually matter, way back in the day when I would play a lot of the games with my buddies, we were all Xbox boys, and so to play Spider-Man, to play Nintendo stuff, and to play on the on everything else, I would essentially have to go out and I would have to shenanigans. What's that called? I'd actually have to purchase three different gaming systems, and I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think you should have to buy a bunch of different systems just to kind of what's it called here? Just to kind of play a bunch of different games with your buddies. You know what I mean? Like that to me tells me that it's garbage. And why is my music not playing? Sounds and music. Master volume set it at. Okay. I was actually kind of hoping to have some Minecraft music on the background here. And it's not playing here. It's not. Why is it not playing? That's so weird. Like I specifically wanted the music to be on here so that way everyone could like hear it all. I'm not seeing any music. Come on. That's so weird. Why are we doing this, Minecraft? Why are we doing this? I would have not played Minecraft if I knew that sound wouldn't have worked. You were so weird, Minecraft. You know what? Here. I know what I can do. Because I was really kind of hoping to have some Minecraft music in the background. Good old YouTubes. Minecraft background music. Good. Get a little bit of that etherealness in the background. So yeah, just kind of running along those lines of just I don't like how I have to purchase three different systems to play three different games with my buddies, and I think it's ridiculous. I think it's redonkulous. I want to be able to just load something up, play a game, and call it a day. I just really wish that was a thing. It boggles, and it just kind of upsets me that I know video game companies are greedy. I know companies in general are just greedy to begin with, and I don't like it. I don't condone it. I know that you have to make money. I know that money is needed to continue your businesses. But for instance, one of the big things that I've always kind of had issues with is like Hitman 3 was just released on Steam, and apparently it is full price. I was watching Gamer Ranks, and that's kind of how I got actually a lot of my information here. But Gamer Ranks was like, hey, yeah, just FYI, Steam, if Hitman 3 is now finally on the PC, but the biggest thing is that it's a full price game, and I don't know. It baffles and boggles my mind that a game that's maybe more than 2 or 3 years old is going to be full price, and I really don't like it. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's redonkulous. But there's not much that you can really do, because that's what video gaming is sometimes. Is very greedy companies doing what they do best, trying to make more money and more profit off of it. Like I remember I was looking for some of the DLCs, and I could buy all 3 DLCs for like $9.90. I could buy each DLC for the Spider-Man, because I've never played the Spider-Man DLCs, but I can play the Spider-Man DLCs for $9.99 each. Or what I could do is, is there? Okay, there's a zombie out there. Or what I could do is I could buy everything for $25.99. Oh god. Oh god. Hello, buddy. I knew I should. Oh, and there's a skeleton. Alright, cool. Well, we're about to have some fun here. But yeah, anyways, I just think it's a little ridiculous how they're charging you full price for some of these games that have been out for freaking ever. And I don't like it. I never did like it. It's a pain in my rear end. I don't like it. Oh god, the skeleton needs to die. I died. I died. Alright. That's dope. But yeah, I wish that they wouldn't charge full price for those games, because I think it's just ridiculous. And I mean, I played the 2 of the DLCs. It's like an extra 10 hours. Not an extra 10 hours. It's maybe like an extra what's it called? Maybe an extra like I think Catwoman took me. Okay, so yeah, it was like 90 to go back to it, because I'm really good at going off the rails here, especially when I get startled. Going off the rails here, it was $9.99 per pack, right? And I was like, okay, so I could buy all 3 packs for $25.99, and so I ended up, kind of giving myself a little treat here, a little special something to try it out. I think Catwoman took me like 2.5, 3 hours to beat. The Catwoman series, and for $10, I mean, really, that's what, $3.33 an hour. I'm not saying it was good, but I'm not saying it was bad, because I was hoping that there'd be a little bit more content than just 3 hours of a main storyline and then kind of some subplot that was there. I feel like that was a little bit of a letdown to me. I feel like there should have been something a little bit more to it. Just simply because if you're going to price something at $10, I want it to be something that is worth $10 of my time. Like, I know it's weird that I talk about this, because like my idea of a game is that like for every dollar that I pay for it, I should be able to get an hour or more out of the game. If you're charging me $10, I should at least have 10 hours worth of content in the game. Just simply because it is a video game. When they're like, hey, okay, they gave me, what was it, 2 or 3, I think it was 2 new suits, 2 new Spider-Man suits, and then, maybe 4 hours of gameplay. And it's like, okay, I maybe kind of sort of see it. Like, I think that's kind of cool and all, but like, that to me speaks volumes about when a company is trying to reach. Like, I was thinking maybe those DLCs would be like $5.99. In all honesty, like $5.99. Oh, the skeleton's back. I think those DLCs should have really only been $5.99, just because I'm not a fan of, like I said, paying for anything that's a dollar. Like, if it's got to be at least $1 an hour for me. And that's kind of how I feel, and that's how I will always feel. Oh god, skeleton's back. So, yeah, that's just my 5 cents on it. Oh god. Well, congratulations. This is a podcast where I talk about a skeleton attacking me, because I am in the middle of the dark and I somehow decided to play on easy, and it's not very easy. Like, I like that. Like, it's weird, because like I play on easy, and like I was playing on easy in Spider-Man and I still died. Like, how bad do I have to be at a video game to still die after playing on easy? You know what I mean? Like, that to me is like, I'm like, God, come on, Jared. Like, you can do a little bit better, can't you? Can't you? So, alright. Let's go ahead and... Nope, because I can't do that. I gotta maybe place... Isn't that how that works? Okay, so I can't burn. Is that... Wait, it doesn't... Isn't that how that works? Like, you can't... You can't burn wood? I thought that's how you make... What's it called? Isn't that how you make... See, like, I don't get... Like, that's so weird. Whatever, this game's silly. This game is so silly. Anyways. Yeah, I thought it... you know... Video gaming around the corner, it's not been... The video gaming for me right now is kind of in a lull. I'm trying some different things out. It's not going 100% the way that I want it to, but it is turning out to be pretty dope. Like, I'm kind of enjoying some of the stuff that I'm doing for the Level Up series. I'm also kind of enjoying just a couple of the other random things that one does while playing video games. I just completed a Deadpool challenge on a game called Insurgency Sandstorm. The Insurgency Sandstorm is a milsim shooter where essentially you are the oh, there's an Enderman. You are essentially a, what's it called? Your security forces or your insurgents, and it is your objective to recapture checkpoints to retake a city. And what's really cool about it is that, you know, you can load up and be like a super special operator and have a whole bunch of guns and you know, like you can have a red dot with a laser and this, that, a silencer and blah, 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 blah. Or you can do what I do, and like in the beginning of Deadpool, where he had one magazine and 2 Desert Eagles, I had a Desert Eagle and 2 magazines, and I decided that I was going to try to complete a game, you know, that way. And for those of you who are curious, you are more than welcome to check out my channel. I'm gonna load up a version with the audio, as well as I'm going to load up a version without the audio, where it's just straight gameplay. I'm doing it for a series on, like I said, on the shorts and hoodies, because I've been putting a little bit more time and effort into that, and I'm hoping that that can maybe take off and a few more people will watch that. But yeah, if you are interested in watching some gameplay and seeing if I can complete the Deadpool challenge, please check that out here. That'll be out here relatively shortly. But anyways, yeah, so I just, oh, there we go. That's what oh, okay. Wow, that was entertaining, to say the least. Oh, God, I'm just getting jacked up by creepers. That's so cool. I'm gonna die 3 or 4 times. I think that's funny. I'm like, yeah, I suck at this game, and of course, like, what are the first few things that happen? I get blown up by creepers, and they blow up my. That's so awesome sauce. Oh my God, I hate my life. Well, no, I don't. I shouldn't say that. I don't hate my life. I hate how bad I can be at video games at times. It's mildly infuriating. Whatever. So. Anyways, so work has been going pretty good, selling that lawn care. I had a decent day on Wednesday, and then I had a very humbling day yesterday, doing some new things. I'm loving the call center environment again. I can totally tell that I'm in that call center environment. I can't tell you how much I hate the call center environment, but I mean, to be completely honest with you, the call center environment is exactly what you would think it would be. It is it's an environment where you have 3 or 4 different people who do things 3 or 4 different ways, and then people are pretty much chatting with you about those 3 or 4 different things. And I realize now that I'm actually fairly good, fairly in view. But that's one of the things that I've noticed about the call center life that I guess I could say I haven't missed, is the number of times I get pieces of information, and that piece of information may or may not be good. Oh, that's not even plugged in. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I've been learning to love and kind of have a a dual love-hate relationship with everything. And as you can tell, I'm doing this podcast like literally on the fly of everything, on the seat of my pantalones here. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of the way that things are typically done in a call center environment, just because like it baffles my mind how like one person can give me a whole bunch of information. Like it bothers me to no real end that they're like, oh yeah, like, hey, do this, and then I go into a meeting with somebody else, and then they're like, oh yeah, you should probably do this, and it's like, well, Timmy tells me to do it this way. They're like, well, Timmy's really good, but blah 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 blah, and it's like, well, no, you can't do that because I have 4 QC meetings with Timmy. And Timmy gives me, advice A, B, C, and D, and every time we meet, he's like, hey, you should really be... God damn it. Mr. Skeleton, I don't like you. He's like, hey, you should probably be doing this way and that way. And it's like, well, I mean, yeah, I could totally do that, but, do I listen to Timmy, who I've been having most of my meetings with, or do I listen to you, who's doing my meeting today? So to kind of cover it, it's a little infuriating, and I remember why I love working in a call center, and I remember why I hated working in a call center. That's neither here nor there. You know what? I should probably just build this up as a beacon. What is it? The beacon of Gondor has been lit. So yeah, working in a call center environment is fun-ish. It's not thrill-seeking. It's not 100% awesome sauce. It is exactly what you would think it would be. It's an environment that sometimes is fun, sometimes isn't. So we'll just go with that. So I've got some interesting news for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm having a lady over. I'm having a lady come on over. We started talking around it. Oh, there's that copper ore that everyone kind of has been talking about on the Minecrafts. So we kind of been talking on and off, and she kind of hit me up, and we met each other at the Christmas party, and come to find out, she is pretty much single, which is kind of dope sauce. And so she drives past my town all the time because she lives a little up north, and I live a little in the deep south. Yeah, little Nikki there. I apologize. I did a little Nikki thing not too long ago. But yeah, she lives down south, and or she lives up north, I should say, into great up north into UP. And she drives past my town here quite often, apparently, according to what she's been telling me. So I'm kind of hoping that tomorrow we get to see each other, because I let a little flirt out today. I let a little bit of a flirt out, and she was very responsive to the flirt. So I was really ecstatic and excited about that, because I've been on a very interesting streak. I actually had a lady hit me up the other day. I went back to Facebook dating. I said I was going to swear it off, and then I got an itch. Ladies and gentlemen, that I just could not scratch, because it's like I hadn't been talking about it. I hadn't said anything about the dating world. I kind of been just doing my own thing. And then all of a sudden, my mind was like, hey, what about Facebook dating? It was like, no, you took a break. And then, I just kind of got a little flirty, decided to do some swiping right. Nothing really spectacular came of it. And then this gal hit me up. And it was really funny, because she hits me up, and I drop a pretty phenomenal opener. I think it's really good. And she sends me her Facebook information. And she's like, hey, hit me up on Facebook. And I was like, oh, that's really quick. Usually it takes a little bit of conversation. And then, they're like, hey, hit me up on Snapchat, or hit me up on, my Facebook, or what have you. And it's a little bit more of a conversation than just kind of diving right into, here's my Facebook, go ahead and contact me. So I gave her, I did a little snooping. And she really hadn't been posting much. It didn't look like she had much of a social media presence. Looks like she kind of stays off social media. I was like, okay. So, and then I basically, I didn't message her right away, because number one, I don't want to seem desperate. And number two, I got really busy at work, and I kind of had to take a step back and just kind of do what I do best. And then it's just be Jared. And so when I took that step back, and I messaged her this morning, she sends, or I messaged her last night, and when I messaged her last night, she hit me up with, what was it here? Because I think it was absolutely just hilarious with what she hit me up with. I'm gonna go to our conversation. I'm not gonna say her name, but so I sent her a message last night, and I was like, "Hey, wasn't really expecting to hear from you with tossing out your Facebook profile so fast. LOL." Was a bit of a surprise. Also, so work picked up and it became a little hard to chat. My bad. She goes, "Oh, you're the one that works at insert casino here. Your bird's cute, or did you say that's a zoo somewhere?" Now, in my profile, I've got Mr. Blue Nibbles the Third chilling on the top of my hat, and I got Helios chilling on my shoulder. In my house, in my humble abode. I've even got Helios. When I'd take Helios on walks during the summertime around some of the parks that are near and dear to where I live, and he gets a little bit of sun. He gets a little bit of social. He becomes a little bit more social, and he can be a little bit more of a bird. And he's no longer this danger chicken that he usually comes out to be, because he's a little bit of he can become a dick around people. Like, I'm pretty sure that tomorrow when the gal comes over, I'm gonna have to put Helios and Mr. Blue Nibbles the Third into my bedroom, because I just know that they're not. I can't trust them. I'm not gonna be able to trust them to be good boys and not be dicks. When she comes over and fly directly at her face. It's because I've even told my mom, I'm like, "Hey mom, number one rule of the fellas, stay between me and the birds. That is my number one rule with them." And I've recently been putting the boys in my room. I go to sleep, they wake up, they see me right there. I get to sleep in a little bit, and they get to spend a little bit of extra. They're quote unquote spending a little bit of extra time with me, because it's always cute, because like when I wake up and I have them in my bedroom, like my mom is always getting on me. She's like, "Oh, you need to don't let them sleep in your room with you, and blah 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 blah, and this. Don't forget to give them a little bit of love." And well, I love you too, mom. But like it's just easier for me to give them some love when I'm in my when they're in my bedroom, just simply because then that way they wake up, they see me immediately, and they don't feel like they have to immediately panic because I am not there. I'm sorry, pig, but you're gonna have to die. Thank you. I need that meat. But yeah, it's really interesting because like my mom gets really worried that I'm gonna I'm like it's gonna be bad for them or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not bad to have them in my room. Like, it's not bad to have them around. It's just that, like, it gives me a chance to wake up and, to be more of an adult by the time I actually show up and do anything in the morning. Because usually if I have them out in my living room when I've been working out of my bedroom, what I'll do is I'll wake up and I'll have like 10 minutes or so just to kind of do whatever I need to do. And all of a sudden, I don't get to spend much time with him. And I mean, I do interact with him on my breaks. I do give him plenty of love and attention on my breaks. I get half an hour to use whenever I get like 15 minutes. I take 15 in the morning, and then I take 15 at night. And I typically take my first break right around like noonish or whatever, and the boys just kind of hang out with me. They come hang out on my shoulder. We watch a little bit of PKN or PKA, whatever's playing on the YouTubes in the background, and I just kind of give them a treat or something like that. But like, my mom is always telling me not to have them in my room or do this or that, and it's like, well, it's hard to explain, mom, but like they have the attention of a child, and I need to give them some love and attention. Like the best day, like I know it's weird because a lot of you would think they would like a lot of attention and they would like to just be around me constantly, and you're not wrong. You're 100% not wrong, but it's just really kind of interesting because like some of the best days that I've ever had with them is where I'm just watching TV, laying on the couch, and they're like right next to me, like. If you could see in the background, like the cage is literally within reaching. Okay, there it is. Like it's within reaching distance of where I'm at. And some of the best nights that they've spent with me is literally them just sleeping or like just being themselves right on the couch there. And it's really interesting to see because they're like, "Oh, Dad's here hanging out with us," And it's like, yeah, it's just me being me, fellas. And They love that little bit of me being there, and that's all they need. They don't need me to flip them over. They don't need me to give them scritches. They don't need a lot of that other attention that some of the birds like. They're just like, yep, be near me, Dad. That's about it. That is about it. So it's really nice when I can when I can really just kind of do just the bare minimum, I guess it is what you could maybe call it, and really just kind of form that bond with them. But I know I knew this was going to happen. This is why I didn't want to do a podcast where it was just me being me again. But yeah, so basically I'm gonna have to put him back in my bedroom tomorrow for when she comes when the gal comes over, because I want to make sure that, number one, she's not scared off by Helios being Helios and being a total complete jackass by running in basically flying at her face. And I also want to make sure that I'm gonna clean up my apartment. I live like such a bachelor. Like I have trash that needs to go out. Like yesterday. Like it needed to go out last week. So I've got that. I got to work on here a little bit later on tonight. I'm gonna listen to some PKN because some PKN that comes out, and then and then I think I'm gonna play a little bit of Diablo 3 later tonight with Gaio. By the way, whoops. I think I had mentioned it earlier, but just wanted to mention again. So Gaio was kind enough to so Gaio's doing some major life changes. Apparently, I don't know if he wants to put it on his podcast or what, but he runs a podcast called Sucius Are My Favorite. Sucias. I'll put it in the link down below. He was on the last episode. He's a recovering intercourse addict. Not to be confused with a sex addict. And he's got a lot of great advice. He talks a lot about sexuality. I think I'm going to be on his podcast here relatively shortly again, where we talk about the red pill versus the blue pill and machismo and stuff like that. So he did a little bit of downsizing, and he asked me if I wanted to try an XLR microphone. I mean, XLR microphones are the amazing microphones that, DJs use and, a lot of real podcasters use. And I was like, yeah, why wouldn't I want to try an XLR, microphone? He's like, oh, that's great. If you pay for the $10 for shipping and handling, I'll go ahead and send you an XLR microphone package. I was like, dope. That's dope. And so I got the XLR microphone. I've got that. The other half of the package is arriving quite shortly, and it's just one of those things where the Army has finally paid off for a change. Even though they are what some would maybe call the bane of the existence of the United States military. But I mean, the Army does have its uses. It does end up having its uses. So to Gaio, thank you for sponsoring this and the very near and dear future episodes of my heart. As I kind of maybe had alluded to earlier, I'm not sure how much I did or did not cut out. I didn't want to do this episode. I have not been feeling the best, as I kind of been alluding to. The week has kind of been a garbage week, and I was going to go ahead and skip it. But my buddy Alex Alejandro, the all-knowing and all-powerful watcher that is my best friend in the entire world, said that I should probably do it, because this is 105 episodes that have come out and that I've filmed in a row. I have always gotten an episode out on time. I don't think there has been an episode that I haven't got out on time. I think there's maybe one that released like Saturday afternoon, but I don't think... I think I've always had a podcast release on a Saturday. I don't think there's been a Saturday where I haven't released a podcast. So I am excited to continue the streak. I am happy to continue the streak. I'm glad to get you guys some information. I've been having some trouble getting some guests on the podcast. It's not your guys' fault. It's not my fault. I think it's just the world is 2022 and it is here, and it is just becoming that thing that people are restarting their lives. They're hoping that the C word is coming to a close, and that it no longer is going to be much of an issue any further. And I think just people are tired. They are sick and tired of the world being what it is and what it's trying to aspire to be. So to those of you who are watching and continuing to be my guests, I want to say I appreciate it so much. And a zombie just scared the other. Oh, it's a baby zombie. Oh God, it's a baby zombie. Get out of here. Oh God, is it on me? Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Please no. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. He's stay outside. He's stay outside. Oh God, is he gonna come through the roof? Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh my God. Oh my God, that scared the poop out of me. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being a part of everything. And this podcast is literally nothing without you guys, and it means a lot to me that you continue to listen and watch every single week. I've noticed that you guys like the OnlyFans interviews, because I see a spike in that as well too, as I see a spike in the in the YouTubes, because it's funny that I talk about it. YouTube is not where I get many of my listens for the podcast. A lot of you like to just listen to the audios. If you're like me, you probably like to listen to them at 1.2 or 1.5 speed. I know it takes a little getting used to, but like with a show like PKA, where it's a 4-hour freaking podcast, I don't always have 4 hours to just sit down and do whatever the fandangle bangle jangle that I need to do. I sometimes need to get my ass in gear and I don't know, actually do something productive. So like, I can build a smoker. What does a smoker do? I'm gonna have to build a smoker. That's cool. But yeah, like you don't always have the time and the effort to really do every single thing that you need to do out there when it comes to your podcast. So I appreciate you listen to my podcast. I'm trying to keep them at about an hour and a half. I know some of the 2 to 3 hour podcasts are like super long and super dense. They are fun with Eric, because I know I do a lot of catching up. By the way, check out Eric's show, The Evil Mark Show. I was going to be on his podcast on Wednesday, but the time frames didn't work out. They had to get somebody else differently for it. Even though I think the time frames actually would have worked out, because Eric was doing math incorrectly when it comes to time zone differentials. But yeah, so anyways, just kind of throwing it out there that Eric and I might be I might be doing another pot. Oh, I'm full, so I can't eat more. That's interesting. Yeah, so I might be doing some other more podcasts in the future, just trying to get out there, out and about. But yeah, the Evil Mark Show, I'm sorry, is a podcast that I believe you should pick up on if you're into the sports world. I know it was more college football this season, and Eric did really, really good. Like, if I was a betting man, I would have made quite a bit of money. I would have also lost quite a bit of money too, but that's how sports go, sports ball goes. I'll be talking to him shortly as well too. I know that we got that coming up. I don't think we did the December episode where we talk once a month and we do a podcast once a month with each other. But yeah, anyways, podcast guests are just hard to find. Like I said, everyone's kind of doing their own things. I'm gonna try to get some more OnlyFans girls on. It sounds like you guys. I feel like you guys like how I do it, where I don't really get too deep into the sexuality of things, where it's more along the lines of just like, who are you as a person? What do you do in your free time? What's kind of fun to you? What kind of equipment do you use? And then, there are a couple questions that I do end up asking. Everyone does, there are those questions that everyone just kind of likes to know and understand when it comes to, certain aspects of life. Cause let's face it, we are all people. We are humans. We are men. Men have those questions. Men want to know answers to certain things. So I don't see why, I don't see why that would be a problem. But yeah, any who's and what's it's. I'm glad that you guys like it. I apologize. This episode is not very well structured. To me, it just, I've been looking to try to find an episode partner this week. Nothing's really been coming up, as well with me feeling a little bit under the weather. I feel like I couldn't get anybody on. I didn't know what to talk about. I didn't have an episode. I mean, I'd been looking out for a couple episodes where, like, I've been trying to talk to some people about some certain things. Like, I was like, there was one where I was like, hey, what's your biggest romantic fail? Where it's like, oh, you and your significant other you take your significant other on a date and you forget that she's allergic to cherries because it's like your first, your second or third date out and she's only told you once. And it was really funny because like a lot of people hit me up. A few people hit me up. They're like, hey, there's this time that I asked this girl out and it didn't go so well. I was like, yeah, no, it's like a funny story, bro. It's a funny story, bro, but like that's you asking a girl out. That's not a romantic fail. A romantic fail again is where you are currently dating somebody, and then somebody else was like trying to tell me a third. Who was it? Who? Oh God, what was his name? Oh, Ron White. Ron White. He's like, you ever hear a story from someone that they heard from somebody else, and so you're like you're third generation don't give a fuck. Yeah, like like, dude, I'm happy for you that you went on this date. I'm happy for you that you did this certain thing. I'm happy that you have this cool story that your bro told you. But like, dude, it's not funny, and it's not within the context of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for I'm looking for XYZ. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for something along those lines. I'm looking for something a little different, other than just like the hey, my bro did this thing here, and it was kind of funny. And it's like, well, yeah, it may have been kind of funny to you guys, but like in all reality, like how funny really was it? Is it like haha that's awesome, or is it like he kind of just asked this one girl out, and he shot his shot and it didn't work out how he thought it would. There are levels to this madness, my son. And so that I've been kind of getting a lot of those where people have thought that they've been telling me good stories, and it's like, no, bro, your story is about as good as it's like your story is about as good as you would maybe kind of imagine it to be. So I don't know. I can't. Like the Starbucks episode was pretty cool. Where I got to talk to a bunch of baristas. I might try to find a couple people who are local, have them come over and do a podcast where, it's actually me in person, but I don't think I have many OnlyFans gals that are OnlyFans. I don't think many people would want to come over to my my horrible bachelor pad of an apartment. God, I gotta clean it up, man. Like my bachelor pad is just it's a bachelor pad, and like, it's always funny because I'm like, I fear what people are going to see when they come over. And then it's always funny. It's always funny because, like, I'm like, oh, it's a bachelor pad. It's a trailer. It's technically actually a half trailer. And I always find it hilarious because people are actually just, people are so nice. Like, your trailer's actually nice. It's like, you can just stop lying. Like, I actually had a guy come over and what did he fix? I had a guy come over and fix my... I can finally get a sword. I should probably have one. I had a guy come over and fix my tub because it got negative like 15. I think it was negative 17 last night. With the outside wind chill factor and stuff like that. So it got pretty freaking cold last night, to be completely honest with you. It was nasty outside. The wind actually kind of shook the trailer a little bit. It was pretty gnarly. I was up till like 4 a.m. as well too. But like, it was just interesting because I didn't think that I'd stay up that late, and that kind of contributed probably to why I felt like absolute trash today. But like, it was so cold. And, like my trailer, like it was like 66 degrees last night in my trailer, right around the foot area. And then up top, it was like 73, 74, 75. So, it was a fairly decent temperature last night. But man, it is getting cold outside. And I am none too happy. I just actually had a bill that came due that, the heating is... Heating's getting expansive. It's becoming expansive. I'm none too pleased with what the cost of my heating was. It was because I don't know if you've ever lived in a trailer, you kind of know what I mean when I say this, but like trailers just bleed heat. They are just not the best conduits at all for any like if you like I almost feel like I have to redo a part of my apartment because it's just like I just want to maybe like even just to grab some like sealant and put it in the windows. But like the weird thing is like it gets like, because I live in a tin can and it gets so hot during the summer months are the freaking worst. I just like if I lived without AC for like 2 years, and I remember one time I had a lady friend come over and she's like, I can't come over anymore. I was like, why? She's like, it's 90 degrees in your apartment. I was like, yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it's a tin can. And she's like, look, you either come over to my house more, or I'm no longer coming over because I can't live in this. I can't be in my bra and panties anymore. As much as you would really like me to be, I cannot just be in my bra and panties. Every time I come over, because that just leads to things. And I'm like, well, I mean, there's positives and negatives. And she's like, yeah, there's mainly negatives. I don't like sweating my ass off, in your apartment. I was like, that's actually a fair statement. So yeah, so just anyways, pressing on forward from my shenanigans that used to happen. I've got a gal that's coming over tomorrow, early morning, afternoonish, which is going to be fun and interesting to just kind of chit chat with her and reconnect. Because I threw out a flirt last night, and then she threw a flirt out at me, and let's just say I was not expecting it. I was not expecting a flirt to come from the conversation that we were having, and it was good. Like it was cool. Like it was random. Because I wanted to be flirty a few more times, and she's been aggressive. Like because I was like, hey, I live in town XYZ. If you're coming down here, and she's like, oh yeah, for sure. She's like, oh, interesting. And I was like, yeah, and she's like, it's almost like you're at what was it? Because it was really adorable. I thought it was cute. I thought it was really cute. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna respond to her real quick because she's like, I called in a fish fry at it's gonna take a fucking hour. Come on, you know this is Wisconsin, comma. Everybody and their mom is out getting a fish fry on Fridays. Period. It was the thing that I used to always do with my family. Every Friday night we would go out for a fish fry. Period. It was always a staple during the winter. Period. That's actually another awesome Saw story. But yeah, where was it here? Where was it here? Oh, so it was like because I asked her, I was like, because she takes a trip she's always taking trips, and I was like, hey, do you drive past my town when you come up and down your way? And she's like, every time, every Sunday and every Wednesday, LOL. I was like, well, poop. I live in said town. So do with that statement with what you wish. And I tried to get a little flirty with a thing. It failed. She's like, yeah, it's almost like you're trying to ask me a question or something odd. And I go, it's almost like I don't want to be too forward and stuff. She goes, gotta do it. I'm not taking any less. Shruggy emoji. I was like, God fucking damn it. God fucking damn it. I gotta do it now. And so I was like, that's not fair, like, at all. You can't just, all right, fine. If you're wanting to flirt or to see my terrible man cave in person and want to interact with some danger chickens, my place is available. Just give me a heads up a few hours beforehand. And she's like, still wasn't a question, but a definite improvement. And then she gave me the okay symbol. Fine, but only for the danger chickens. So it sounds like she's willing to come over and hang out with me and kind of do a couple different things with the Bambinos, with the Jared. So that's pretty interesting. Did I lose where the guy was? Oh, thank God I'm over here. Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like she's willing to kind of come up, give me a shot, and really kind of just hang out with me for un momento por favor. I'm kind of intrigued, kind of interested to see what's going to come of it, because she's a cool person. I like her. I've had many a good conversations with her. Like, it was really funny because it started off with like a very random conversation when we were talking, and I just it was so awesome how the conversation really actually ended up coming to fruition, where we were chit-chatting for just a brief moment, and she struck me as a really neat individual to talk to, and we had a really fun conversation. I had a lot of fun talking to her, and then we quit talking, and I was like, hey, she's like, oh, natural lull in the conversation. I was like, all right, that's fair. But then she just hit me back up again, and I found out a little bit more about her, and she kind of came out on her own time to me, if that makes any sort of sense. Whereas I was maybe I wasn't trying to directly flirt with her, but it wasn't like I was trying to directly influence her. But yeah, it was just kind of cool, like how the timing worked out, where all of a sudden we ended up chatting and flirting and having a good time. So it was very light. I suck at this flirting crap. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm kind of excited about that tomorrow. But yeah, anyways, looks like I've built a house in the Minecraft. I've got some good ethereal music going in the background. I don't know. I do have I do have that Parrot Gaming email up where you can actually email me if you want to talk to me a little bit more about some things. I've done a few polls, and it looks like one or two of you actually responded to said polls, which is kind of cool on it. But then again, that only comes out on Spotify, and apparently the vast majority of the people that are listening to me are not on the Spotify's. They are coming from like Google Casts and a couple other places. So that's kind of interesting. That's kind of cool. And I haven't checked recently here, but I think that I may or may not still have that random person who may or may not be my ex. What's interesting is that when you put out your podcast, and if somebody has you set to auto download on the podcasts, you actually automatically download that gets counted as a view. Now, I don't know if you know anything about views. But if they automatically download it and they're not actually listening, I mean, like, I'll take it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is banana sandwich bullshit. But like, kind of have a small little like hope that my ex-girlfriend or whatever is still listening to my podcast because she kind of sort of somewhat cares. I don't know if that's a shitty statement or whatever, but like, I think it'd be kind of cool if she did still listen to the podcast. I mean, it's not like I'm, hoping to get back together again with her. She's she can go fuck herself, the way she did things. I mean, I was at fault too. I was a little at fault too. I'm not gonna completely be like, oh, she's a terrible, evil individual, blah, 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 blah. But, apparently the way she did me dirty is the way that she does a lot of people dirty. Like when she's, I gave her some reasons to kind of give up on me. I mean, I went into a situation knowing because I don't want to put too much information out there, but I went into a situation knowing that it was going to be a bit of a shit show, and the shit show became a little too much at times, and so I needed some breaks where we would not talk for like a day or two, and it was kind of infuriating, and she kind of gave up, and she was like, all right, I'm done with your breaks because things aren't, and like it was funny because like I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks later, the issue that I had, the issue that kept coming up was actually resolved like 3 or 4 weeks later. Yeah, no, I'm not dealing with you. You know what? I've got a sword. I got the sword. I can take on the zombies. Mr. Zombies are gonna perish. I'm gonna get experience. Oh, look at that. I got experience. Come here, zombie. Nobody likes you. Oh, I almost took one heart there. Hit you in the face. In the face. Oh, that was a great movie. That was a great movie. And what was it? Not the sequels. The sequels were garbage because they were like, hey, what if we totally rewrote this for the modern day? I was like, this is dumb. Don't do that. The Hangover Part 1. The Hangover Part 1 was a very epic saga. It told a great story, and I'm always very excited to watch and like the. It was just such a great saga, because it told a story that was new and very refreshing from what a lot of other stories had kind of, like it was your drunk buddy's story that he told, but it wasn't a bad drunk story. It was a good drunk story, if that makes sense. Like, it had sustenance. Like, there was a tale behind it. It had a storyline. It had a plot. It had character development. It had a lot of the goodness that you really look for when it comes to... Oh, that's just the draw. That's the symbols in the background. But it had a good storyline, and it was a very interesting tale to be told. So, anyways, that was a trip down memory lane there. But yeah, like it just... I know where was I going with the drunk? Oh, yeah, that's right, because I had made the quip. God, see, I suck at life. Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of wish that she still listens to my podcast and maybe here's this. But you can go fuck yourself, Tara. You did me dirty. I mean, I did you dirty too, but there were better ways to break up with me, and there was most definitely a better way to do it. But yeah, so you can go fuck yourself. I don't know if anything you ever told me was the truth, but you know how to get in contact with me if you want to. Oh, I'm trying to break it with an axe that's not working. But yeah, anyways, side little tangents there. I'm going to go ahead and log off here because I think this has actually been about an hour. I've successfully built a house in Minecraft. I have successfully died twice due to stupidity as well as mobs. And now I'm just kind of getting into that daily grind that is the typical normal Minecraft. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just find that if I'm going to grind, as well too as I didn't think that the gal who she'll be coming over tomorrow, I didn't think she would actually be actively text messaging me, or I should say the Facebooking me, because she's always like, oh, usually like, because it's funny, like usually she'll be like, all right, I'll bug you tomorrow after work, and it's like we only talk during work time, but I think that she thought it was cute, and maybe Jared's going to end a dry spell here. I might hold the girl's hand. Who knows? So again, I want to shout out to Susius, are my favorite, for sponsoring this episode and quite a few episodes in the future. I should have the equipment for the next episode, or you will probably see me this weekend live streaming, maybe with some of the. Well, no, I've heard I've heard that it might be a little bit of an issue getting some mail here. I've heard there have been some issues with mail around the local watershed. So hopefully I will be getting that by next Thursday to do the next Shorts and Hoodies podcast. You can always check me out on Mondays on Shorts and Hoodies as well too, where I do a breakdown. We're actually going to be talking about the Microsoft Sony thing that happens with Activision and Blizzard. I loved all your faces. I hope that you had an excellent day. Thank you for listening to my dumb voice ramble and rant, and I'm sorry that I had very little coherent structure to my conversations. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys each and every week in one form of a capacity or another. Sorry, my stomach is very empty, and I feel like I'm very, very hungry right now. But I'm going to wait because I can feel my sinuses kicking in, and I probably need to take another dose of my sinus medication, because sinuses and anxiety do not mix very well at all together. So, again, thank you, Susius are my favorite. Susius are my favorite for sponsoring this episode. I will probably be throwing you up a link here in the description, as always, to go listen to his stuff. Gaio does a wonderful job. He's got a great podcast. I think he's going to be doing things bi-weekly, is what he's been telling me, or he's going to be doing things weekly as well too. Check us out. Usually every Tuesday or so, we do a live stream of Diablo 3, where I try to play a game that I've never played before, and I suck at it, and he basically carries me through the entire thing. So if you like Diablo 3, I will be playing Diablo 3 with him. If you like just listening to me and Gaio banter back and forth, that I'm sure you'll enjoy us just being ourselves, and you'll enjoy the conversation that comes from us. So go ahead if you want to check everything out from what we've been doing recently, and I save everything. I make sure it DVRs on my channel, just simply because I want to make sure that content is there for you guys if you did want it in the future to kind of replay anything or rewatch anything, just because, entertainment is entertainment, and I can't always be putting out new content for you. So if you missed it, come join us. Again, Susius are my favorite. Thank you to him. Check out the Evil Mark Show. I don't know if Eric is still going to be on there doing the football predictions at the end of the season, because I know that's what he was brought on for, so I would highly encourage you to go check that out, as well as Shorts and Hoodies. My name, Jared, a.k.a. Bambi, of the many, many talents and many, many podcasts out there. Something will stick, hopefully, eventually. I love all your faces. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and I hope you have a good one. Talk to you later.
That's good. So what's up, guys? I wrote this. It's called Candy. Sweet like a lollipop, sour like a lemon drop, a lips are cherry red. Wanna take you to my bed. Things are happening, start all over again. Sweet like a lollipop, sour like a lemon drop, a lips are cherry red. Wanna take you to my bed. Things are happening, start all over again. You are my cat, yeah, and then to me. You, you are my candy, baby, baby. Oh, your body drives me crazy. Oh, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
all right. The rope to Jack. Hit the road to Jack. Oh, woman, don't treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I've ever seen. Guess if you say so, I have to pack my things and go. That's right, hit the road to Jack. Don't you come back no more. Hit the road to Jack. Don't you come back no more. Oh, woman, don't treat me this way. I'll be back on my feet someday. Don't care if you do, 'cause you say yesterday. Got no meaning, you just ain't no good. And I guess if you say so, I have to pack my things and go. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back. No, 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 no.